Let's pray veneration to the Lord Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Theruvan Saranai, everyone. Let me tell you a small story about a grandmother. One day, a grandmother was stitching something in her dark room, and then suddenly she lost her needle while stitching. She dropped it on the floor and she started looking for it. And then, since the room was very dark, she went out to the garden and started looking for it, because it was very sunny at that moment. While she was looking for it, there came a group of young boys and asked Grandma, "Grandma, what are you looking for? Let us help you to find what you're looking for." And then Grandma told that she has lost her needle, dropped her needle, and please help to find me my needle. And they all started looking for it on the ground. Sometime later, one boy asked, "Grandmother, where did you lose this?" And then she said, "I lost it in my room." And they were shocked to hear that, and they went away. Just keep this story in your mind and tell me what you think of this grandma. What sort of action she did. I want you to think about it. Okay, let's leave it aside. And then, let me ask you a question. What is your favorite food? Everyone will get something to your head, right? Maybe chocolate, pizza, whatever. So tell me, how long have you been eating that favorite food? 1 year, 1 week, 2 years, 3 years? Maybe you can't remember the day you started eating that. Do you think you eat it because you're hungry? If you're hungry, if it's a need that you have, you could have eaten anything. For instance, do you eat chocolate for hunger? If I look back in my life, in my lay life, I never ate chocolate because I'm hungry. I ate it because I liked it and I wanted it. And I remember I've been eating it for so long until I became an anagarika. I kept eating chocolate. Why did I eat it? Because I wanted it. Imagine, if you don't like something, will you ever want it? No, right? And of course, I know I didn't eat it because I was hungry. Because if it's for hunger, we could have eaten something else, maybe rice or whatever that we take for our main stable food. But I ate it because I liked it and I wanted it. So let's think about your life. You may have experienced the same thing. So, tell me, you have your chocolate. Let's take, you ate the whole bar of chocolate in one moment and you feel you're done with it. Maybe you feel dizzy because of the sweetness there, but the craving would end at that moment. And after 1 week or 2, don't you get the same craving, the same wanting to have a chocolate ever again? So I want you to think, if you had it And if you were satisfied with the chocolate you had, why did you have it the next time? So it tells us something. The happiness that you expect didn't give from that chocolate. It gave it at that moment. But if you were content, if you were satisfied, then you won't have it in the next moment, the next time. So don't you see the way we looked for happiness? Is it the right path? We'll take another example to show you, to prove us. Are we looking happiness in the right direction? Okay, let's think. You went to see Niagara Falls. You're planning to go on a trip to see Niagara Falls. Remember the day before the trip, the anxiousness, the enjoyment you felt. Maybe you couldn't even sleep properly because you had in mind that you're going to see Niagara Falls. And you were so excited to see that. And then you go there. How do you go there? You feel you want to see it, and you have an urge to see how it is, how beautiful it is. And then you go and you see it. You feel, wow, it's so beautiful. And you feel so happy. You feel joyful to see Niagara Falls. And then you stare it for, let's take, you looked at it for 1 hour and you were watching it for 1 hour. And then you feel, okay, I'm done with it. Don't you have ever felt that? In my life, I have experienced it. You keep on watching it for some time, and then after a while, you feel, okay, I'm done with it, and I'm tired of it now. So you want to go somewhere else to see something else. So do you see, children? If Niagara Falls gave you happiness, why do you feel tired after some time, after watching it for a while? If Niagara Falls gave you happiness, if your happiness lies in the Niagara Falls, why do you feel tired of it after watching it for a while? So you see, the day before you went there, the excitement, the joy you had, the wanting you had to watch it. When you went there, you felt so happy, but you couldn't watch it the whole day. You couldn't watch it your entire life. Why is that? You see, in our lives, we thought to have what we like to have, the things we want to have, gives us happiness. So let's take that now you have watched Niagara Falls and you know how it looks like and you are okay with it. One day, suddenly, you were taken to Niagara Falls once again. Do you feel the same happiness that you felt on the first day? No, right? You may have experienced that because I'm telling you with my experience. I remember when I went to see Big Ben, I was so excited. I thought it's the greatest opportunity I have in my life to see that. Couple of times when I went there, I thought, it's there. So what? No excitement. If that gave me excitement, it would have given me every time I looked at it. But it didn't give that. Let's go back to the chocolate example. Okay? You ate a bar of chocolate. When you wanted to have that chocolate and you have the entire bar, you ate it all. If someone comes and gives you another bar, would you eat it? You won't. Perhaps you will vomit. Oh no, I can't even look at it. Just take it away. You would say that. Why? If the chocolate gave you happiness, why would you do that? So it proves that chocolate didn't give you happiness. If it's for chocolate, you could have eaten chocolate the entire day, entire life you will be eating chocolate. But you have done it on and off. You don't do it constantly. You can't even think about having the second bar of chocolate. If chocolate has given you happiness, you could have done that. So it proves that the things that we see outside the world, things we have, chocolate, the places that you like to go, pizza, the books, the movies you've watched. Let me take another example. In my lay life, I loved Marvel movies. Whenever a trailer was out, I used to watch it and count days to go and watch it. And the good point is, I couldn't watch it all the time. I would watch it for 1 time, 2 times, maximum 5 times. Not more than that. If that movie gave you happiness, why can't you watch it every day? You won't do that. That's why we have different movies. If it's the same movie, if that gives you happiness, you can keep on watching it and you'll be okay with it. You'll be content with it. But you're not. Because it proves once again that happiness does not lie in that movie. Just like in the chocolate, the Niagara Falls, it does not lie. The happiness does not lie in the object. Then how do we feel happy? I want you to think about it. If you think that if you have something because you want it, because you liked it and you want it and you have it, are you done with it? No. You feel satisfied at that moment. But you get into that deep void or the vexation or that urge again because you're trying to find an answer to your problem from the outside. Just like the story I told before. Just like that grandma. She dropped the needle inside of the house. And where did she look that needle? She was looking for it on the outside. And she was looking for it everywhere. Just like that, we all are looking for happiness without seeing the real cause for happiness. We think the happiness lies in the outside world, in the objects, with people we love. But with the examples I've talked to you, you see, if it lies in that object, you could have had it forever. But we can't. Then how do we get that? You see, somebody comes and tells you, this chocolate is yummy. It gives you happiness. Then what happens is, you start liking it. Till the day you have it, because of the liking you had, you feel a wanting to have it. You feel a deep void, an urge to have it. That is what we call the wanting. So, in your lives you know. So, let's think, why did you like it? Somebody comes and tells you, it gives you happiness, it's very joyful, it's fun to have. So somebody gives you a view. And what happens is you start believing it. And then, because of that idea, you start liking it. Once you start liking it, can you stop wanting it? Just imagine in your lives, did you want something that you don't like? No, right? You never wanted things that you liked. So that means when liking happens in your mind, you can't stop wanting it. So you start wanting it. And when you want it, you have this deep void or the urge to have it. When you have that, what happens is, once you get what you wanted, you feel so happy because this deep void or the urge is fulfilled. The mind gets relaxed, released because you receive what you wanted. So when you look at it in that perspective, you see wanting, because of wanting only you can feel pleasure. You can feel happy. If it's not for wanting, would you ever can think of being happy? Let's take the same example, Niagara Falls or chocolate. If you didn't like it, if you didn't want it, would you ever feel excited to see it? Would you ever feel happy to see it? No, it's just another thing that passes by. Just another thing on your plate. That's why different people like different food, different places to be seen, different movies, because they don't have the same idea, just like you, to like it. I know people who don't like chocolate. If chocolate gives you happiness, everybody should feel happiness while having chocolate, but they don't. So you see, there comes to a point where wanting is always the reason to feel happiness. So when the wanting is there, because you want to have it, that urge is there. Once you have it, you have what you wanted, what you were looking for. So your mind gets released. It feels, it gives a satisfaction, a pleasure. Let's take, if you don't like something, you had a bar of chocolate now, and somebody else gives you another chocolate. Now you don't want to have it. You're done with it, and you're tired of chocolate, and somebody gives you that. Would you say, wow, great, let me have that? Would you ever say that? No, you won't, because you don't have that wanting at that moment. You see, we always looked for happiness in the wrong place. But when you see the mechanism of happiness, because you have to have an idea that it gives you pleasure, and then you have to like it, and then only you start wanting it. You have to have wanting to feel happiness, to feel pleasure from an outside object. So my dear children, we are just like the grandmother I told in that story. To find true happiness, what are we supposed to do? We have to find out the right cause, the cause for happiness. That is to realize how the happiness works, the pleasure works. And then when we realize, when we understand that we don't look for it in the outside world, we will stop the wanting by realizing that objects, things never gave us happiness. So, one last example that I would give you. If you like to watch a cartoon, let's say, why did you like that cartoon? Because somebody told that it gives you happiness. And because of that, you start liking it. And then, because you liked it, you wanted to have it. And then, what happens? You wanted to watch it. You felt, if you can't watch that cartoon, I can never be happy. So that sort of feeling you had, that is called a deep void or vexation or an urge to have it. And then you had it because that urge was released, because you want the thing that you wanted was received, that pressure you had in mind was released. So the happiness was the pressure, release of vexation, release of that pressure. And that's why you received that satisfaction sort of a feeling. But you weren't content because the wanting is always there. So you see, why did you want to watch that? So it shows that somebody has put you a wrong view about that movie, about the chocolate, about Niagara Falls, about the Marvel movie, whatever you liked. Somebody has put you a doctrine or a view to tell that it's pleasurable. So the mind believed that it gives you pleasure. It gives you the happiness you're looking for. And then that's why the wanting happens. But if it's not for wanting, you will never be happy. You will never feel happiness. That's why we're trying to show that the problem, the cause for us not to be content in our life is want. So we have to find a treatment to eradicate wanting. And how can we eradicate it? By proving that the view that we had initially about that was wrong. It doesn't give you pleasure. Relief from vexation, relief from that urge gives you pleasure, not from that object. If it's from that object, we could do the same thing over and over again without stopping. But we take a small break, right? We won't watch the same movie over and over again. We watch it after some time because that wanting has been there and you don't want to watch it at that very moment once you have watched it. So it shows you without vexation, without that deep void to have it, you can't have pleasure. So my dear children, in this world, do people find happiness in the right place? I want you to think about it. Are we not like that grandma? We have that happiness deep down inside of our mind, yet we search it in the outside world. So we keep on searching. It's a rat race. We've been running around for years, maybe our entire samsara, till we get the truth about this world. We search for it, and we are running a never-ending game. So, you see, I want you to realize this truth, to have the ultimate bliss. We don't have to rely ourselves on the outside world to give us happiness, because happiness lies within us. If we eradicate this wanting, the urge won't be there. Then we won't search for things in the outside world. Without those, we can be happy. But right now, we can't do that because we have the wrong view about this world, that we believe that world gives us happiness. So we go after this world. Don't you feel tired now? We always can find a cure to this and find the ultimate bliss. So, whatever happens in your life, ask this question: how does this pleasure comes to me? When you keep on looking at it in that perspective, you will realize we are looking for happiness in the wrong place. Then you'll start looking for it in the right place, my dear children. So that's food for thought. May the Noble Triple Gem be with you all.